Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we got some hard news to swallow, and I know this is a lot of hard news for a lot of South Korean conservatives. Um, but it's going to be a difficult pill to swallow. But the reality is that the ruling party, the very conservative political party in South Korea, People's Power, has been ousted by the opposition Liberal Party, the Democratic Party. We can officially project on this channel that South Korea has elected its new president after the original president, Yoon Suk Yeol, was removed from office after he declared martial law in December of 2024, where he was eventually impeached. The new elected president will be Lee Jae-myung, who it comes from, of course, the Democratic Party. And you may be hoping that it is a conservative party, but it's just like the Democratic Party here. It's pretty liberal, center to center left, although I would think the one over there in our area in the United States is more far left. But it was difficult to swallow because we just ousted that party in 2022. Apparently, South Korea, we've seen the trend. It's getting more liberal, although conservatives, according to our map, still have South Korea a pretty good grip on South Korea politically. It's just, you see how much Yoon Suk Yeol won by. It's barely anything. He didn't even win by 1 point. It used to be in South Korea, conservatives did lap after lap after lap when it came to victories. Although Park Geun-hye is from the Sanuri Party, which is a far right-wing to far right political party. But yes, these are Grand National, right, another far right party. You got Millennium Democratic. This is center left. So they are electing more liberal since the start of the 21st century. So a lot of people were like, oh, you don't need to worry about the left taking over South Korea because it's politically conservative like Japan. But the problem with Japan is I wouldn't even go as far to say Japan is that conservative. I mean, yeah, by popular vote. They have all those political parties, though, divided. But if you form a political coalition, then I would expect Japan to be more polarized. Not to mention, even though Tokyo is politically more conservative. But now we have South Korea. South Korea does not elect their leaders via Japan system, which is similar to Canada's. They elect them via candidate, which is similar to how we elect our candidate, by popular vote. And you'll see that Lee Jae-myung has officially defeated Kim Moon-soo, who is the nominee for the People Power Party. This People Power Party is where the former president, now impeached and removed, Yoon Suk Yeol, was coming from. Now, a lot of people are like, why did Yoon decide to declare martial law? Well, no one knows why, but how it was interpreted was led to, of course, a potential seizure of power. And obviously, that made Yoon to be overall look like a dictator. Now, Lee Jae-myung, I think he was the opponent of Yoon in 2022. Now, he had this very well benefited him. Lee Jae-myung, Lee had the benefits of name recognition. I'm not talking about this Lee, but Lee Jae-myung had the benefits of name recognition and the fact that he ran in this election in 2022 beforehand. And so I would think I think liberals would inevitably win South Korea. In my view, this would have been inevitable, and there's nothing really much to change the outcome here. It's because of the 2024 martial law crisis. It just was not a good look. I would say, going as far as saying this was worse than January 6th in the United States. I mean, give it to the United States. The United States is equally politically divided. South Korea is not that. South Korea has, well, you could say it's now equally divided because you have to the 2022 election, following that, the 2017 election, where actually Moon ended up doing way better compared to all the right-wing split ticketing, apparently. There's Liberty, yeah, that's a far-right party. The People Party, center, and then there's the Barun Party, right-wing, and the Justice Party, center to center, left. But yes, you have all this said stuff going on when it comes to that. And although the results, you could say they look pretty close. Let's see, does 270 have a South Korea map? I think they do. I thought they did. But yes, they do. But this is municipalities. This is 2024 National Assembly. So, yeah, when it comes to, this is South Korea National Assembly. I want regions. Why don't they have regions? They do have regions. You'll see the regional map this is how the map looked like. You just have these provinces here going Democratic, these areas here. Seoul is generally more liberal. You have that island right here. That is also, don't know what that is. That's not Gangwon Island. Gangwon is actually right by Seoul. I want to believe right over here. Okay? Right over here. This is Gangwon Island, right here. Part of the more conservative region. But most of South Korea, there's a reason why South Korea is very right-wing, and that being mainly because it's smack right by North Korea. Not only that, but by China. They are worried about the CCP and their growing communist influence in South Korea. Also, North Korea. The last thing you want is your people to actually say, you know what, we want to join North Korea. Now, obviously, North Korea made itself to be very antagonistic to the world, and you probably won't get that much people saying, oh, we want to join North Korea, but there's always that individual, the communist, that doesn't really understand what life really is like in North Korea. But obviously, we have half of the country now, South Korea, being politically divided. Used to be extremely conservative. Now, obviously, in the 21st century, getting more secular. I want to believe South Korea is a irreligious or atheist country. But it is somewhat of an atheist country when it comes to its religion. But ultimately, let's go ahead. I want to take a look. List of South Korea. Okay. Yeah, you have a lot of presidents. Obviously, this guy, Syngman Rhee, was one of the most conservative out of the bunch. He came from the Narki, which is a right-wing to far-right political party. He was considered a dictator, seeing it's from the United States. Yeah, you have conservative and red, liberal and blue. Yeah, you had a couple, but when it came to these elections, though, South Korea is extremely conservative, and it just starts recently voting for liberal presidents, and that is, of course, very impactful. But anyway, not a good result for people's power. And I do want to believe that, you know what, I do believe that in the next coming year, 2030, I think Kim Moon-soo and his People's Power Coalition, he will retake power. And I do think that's possible. South Korea is going to be a center-right country, and that's not going to change. Why? China. You just have China and North Korea, the communists, and the influence with big tech and how that influences big tech. It's just a worrisome in people's mind. That's not really going to change. So I'm not concerned much about. You could say, "Oh, United States tariffs played a role," and I'm just going to tell you right now, no. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not necessarily going to be the case. It's mainly because of it's just the people's power and their kind of influence and how they kind of influence and the whole election system and all that. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below, and as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.